everybody, ASMR FTB here, back with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video we will be unboxing a pre-constructed commander deck from Tarkir, or from the Tarkir Dragonstorm set. And the pre-constructed deck, as you can see, is called Temur. The deck is assembled in such a way that you can choose from one of two commanders, either the dragon or the human. The dragon being Uranai, I hope isn't the correct pronunciation. But it's Ureni of the Unwritten, or Eshki, Temur's Roar. I think my plan is to take Eshki out and make my own commander deck with her, because she looks very interesting and cool, and simply replace her in the 100 card pre-constructed deck and make Uranai, or Uranai, I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced, but the dragon, I will make the dragon the commander, and replace Eshki with something, probably just another dragon or something. And Eshki, I can make her own deck because she looks very, very cool and interesting. But yeah, I said for Tarkir Dragonstorm I was going to do something a little different. I haven't been playing Commander all that much, but my friend said he was going to get a pre-constructed deck for Tarkir Dragonstorm, so I thought I would get one as well, and he and I could play together. Of course, I asked if he wanted to go pick up the decks today, because today was the day we could go pick them up, and he declined and said he was going to pick his up in like a week or something. He just wasn't feeling like going today, so if we ever play together, if we play together, that remains to be seen, but at the very least, I got mine, and I'm excited to see kind of what, well, I think I already know what's in the box, because I watched, there was like a live stream where they told you what was going to be in it, but I don't know, I'm just excited to see the cards. As you can see, I have a little band-aid on my finger. I cut myself while I was trying to clean my kitchen knife in the sink after making a meal, and it's like right on my knuckle, so every time I bend my knuckle it opens back up, so it's just not healing, which is really frustrating. And hopefully it doesn't open back up as I record this video. That would be very for some reason the word inappropriate is coming to mind, but that's not the word I'm looking for. That would be very inconvenient. That's the word I was looking for. Okay. A collector booster sample pack. Interesting. Temur Roar Commander deck. Okay. Magic colors: white for protection and order, blue for deceit and intellect, black for death and decay, red for fury and chaos, and green for life and nature. I feel like black gets a pretty bad, like death and decay, like protection and order, deceit and intellect, fury and chaos, life and nature, death and decay. It just sounds very redundant. I mean, all of them kind of to a degree, I guess, did, but okay, this is just a little blurb about the commanders themselves. And I have no idea how to pronounce that. Uranai. That's Uranai. 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 I have no idea. Even under the Dragon Lord Tarkir's rule, the spirits were never silenced. They chose their whisperers, who heard their calls to heal the land from the ravaging of the dragon brood. Uranai. Ureni. Ureni. Ureni, spirit dragon of wisdom, was brought forth by the Temur to reforge their connection with the land and redress the harm of the past. Ureni provides counsel and guidance to the Temur, working and living most closely with their prophetic whisperers. Ureni is also fiercely protective of the Temur and their lands, and will not hesitate to drive out intruders or those they believe mean harm to the clan. Oh, they. So the dragon is a they. Actually, I didn't even realize. Yeah, he's like, he is a dragon, but like, he looks very ethereal. He doesn't look like very, like his physical embodiment is, you know, see, he's got like, it's like wind and water and stuff, and almost like roots for scales and stuff like that. I didn't realize how, like, ethereal he was. Like, Eshki, Temur's roar. Eshki was a proficient hunter and premier wrestler within the brood of Atarka, begrudgingly acquiescing to the Dragon Lord's demands. When her hunting group was attacked by one of Atarka's dragons and left for dead, Eshki reached her breaking point and escaped into the mountains. There she met the Whisperer, Alneal, a hidden seer with visions of a Tarkir free from Dragon Lord rule. The Phyrexian invasion forced Eshki into a leadership role to repel the Machine Legion, ultimately proving she was worthy of Alnuil's vision. After proving her prowess in a duel, Eshki took up the mantle of Dragon Claw and led the fledgling Temur into a new era. These are just commander rules, playing the deck, whatever. Cool. Hold on, I wonder if that just like houses the commanders themselves. This is, I guess, a little makeshift deck box. That's kind of cute. I guess, yeah. Sweet. And here is the cards themselves. Which begs the question. I'll probably not sleeve them in this video. I just don't want to. I also am gonna have to de-sleeve a different deck to put sleeves on these. Oh wow. Oh shit. Oh shit. Wait a minute. Breaching Dragonstorm 4 and a red when this enchantment exile cards from. Oh wait, no, this is in this deck, I think. Although this feels like, or no, this isn't foil, or this isn't foil etched. Yeah, when this enchantment, I thought this was the, so there's like a rooftop storm, but for dragons in this set. That they, for whatever reason, didn't include. Codis the Fang Keeper. 1, a black, a green, and a blue. Legendary creature, zombie warrior, indestructible. He's a 2/1. When he deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library, where X is the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with the mana Magic the Gathering, like, you know, boxes, I think is actually pretty cool. I kind of like it. And he's a zombie warrior, Codas the Fangkeeper, and yeah, this is Breaching Dragonstorm, 5 in a red. Enchantment. When this enchantment enters, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast it without paying its mana cost if the mana's value is 8 or less. If you don't, put that card into your hand. When a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. Alright. I'm not gonna read through every single card in the deck like I do normally with my, like pack openings. I'll like read every single card unless it's a repeat. I'm not gonna read every single card in this deck because that would take forever. It's 99 cards. And I just don't have the time. But I'm going to read for certain the commanders. Oh my gosh. This is very, I don't want to, like, this is so difficult. I don't want to damage any of the cards. But I'm gonna, like, definitely read, like, the, you know, obviously the commanders themselves. Okay, sorry about that. It was a lot more frustrating than it needed to be. Okay. So we have our two potential commanders for the deck in Ureni of the Unwritten. And he is 7 mana for a green, a blue, and a red. And I wish it would focus on him. There we go. Well, if anybody's ever watched this channel before, you know that getting this camera to focus on anything is nearly impossible. There we go. Let's see. Focus on the finger. It's just refusing. But yeah. Cool card. Beautiful art. And he's a 7/7 spirit dragon with flying and trample. When he enters or attacks, look at the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a dragon creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. Then we have Eshki, Temur's Roar. A green, a blue, and a red human warrior. She's a 2/2 legendary creature. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Eshki. If that spell's power is 4 or greater, draw a card. If that spell's power is 6 or greater, she deals damage equal to, Eshki deals damage equal to Eshki's power to each opponent. So again, I think what I'm going to do is make Ureni the commander of this deck, and Eshki, I'm going to create a deck all her own. said, let's keep looking at the deck here. Right. So we have Deceptive Frostkite, which I think this is a clone dragon. They're essentially a 2-mana cheap dragon that can enter the battlefield as a copy of another creature you control. And we have Hammerhead Tyrant, which is basically a Hullbreaker horror, but a dragon. Then we have Will of the Temur, which I think this is part of a cycle. Will of the Blank, and it's one of the, Temur, it's one of the, what are they called? Guilds, clans, whatever. Will of the Temur, 6 mana, 5, and a blue sorcery. Choose one if you control a commander. As you cast the spell, you may choose both. Create a token that's a copy of target permanent, except it's a 4/4 dragon creature with flying in addition to its other types. Target player draws cards equal to the greatest mana value among permanents you control. Parapet Thrasher, 4 mana, dragon 4/3. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to an opponent, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Destroy target artifact that opponent controls. This creature deals 4 damage to each other opponent. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Thundermane Dragon, 4 mana, 4/4, flying. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells with power 4 or greater from the top of your library. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste until end of turn. Oops. Zenith Festival. Just exiling the top cards of your library. Oops. Pretty boring. Broodcaller Scourge. Or Scourge. Broodcaller Scourge. 7 mana, dragon 5/7. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player, you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the damage from your hand onto the battlefield. Permanent card with mana value less. Okay. Become the Avalanche, 6 mana, sorcery. Draw a card for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Then creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Kaiga the Tide Star. Kaiga the Tide Star, Dragon Spirit 5/5. When it dies, gain control of target creature. Reflections of Lityara. Whenever you cast a spell with a chosen type, copy that spell. Atsushi, the Blazing Sky. Flying Trample. When it dies, that's 2 dragons with dies triggers. That doesn't seem very good. A Blasphemous Act. Okay. Chaos Warp. Dragon Master Outcast. Gadrak the Crown Scourge. Glory Bringer. Glory Bringer. That feels like that can be upgraded. Lathless Dragon Queen. Hellkite Courser. Leyline Tyrant. Nesting Dragon. With landfall, whenever a land you control enters, create a 0/2 red dragon egg creature token with defender and create a 2/2 dragon token with, okay. That doesn't seem that great either. Nogi, Draco Zealot, 3 mana, Kobold Shaman. Dragon spells you control cost 1 less to cast. Whenever he attacks, if you control 3 or more dragons until end of turn, he becomes a dragon with base power, toughness 5/5, and gains flying. That's actually really good. Because I remember in my dragon deck, I had I think two little guys that discounted dragon spells. But the fact that he can become, the fact that when he attacks, he can also become a dragon, and a threat is pretty good. Opportunistic dragon. Scourge of the Throne. Skargan Hellkite. Spitflame. Storm's Wrath is pretty weak. Storm's Wrath is a pretty weak wrath effect. Taurian Mauler. Shapeshifter, changeling. Whenever you opponent casts a spell, you may put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. That seems pretty bad. Storm Breath Dragon. Flying Haze protection from white. The creature becomes monstrous. It deals damage to each opponent equals the number of cards in that player's hand. If the creature isn't monstrous, put 3+1/+1 counter on it and it becomes monstrous. Okay, Territorial Hellkite. I don't know, I feel like a lot of the Thunderbreak region. Vengeful Ancestor, Varix Bladewing, Frontier Siege, Stampede, Atarka, World Render, Dragonlord Atarka, Harbinger of the Hunt, Sarkin, Soul of Flame, Temur Ascendancy, Dragon's Horde. I don't know, I'll put these back in. I don't know, it feels like a lot of the dragons they included in this deck were just kind of thrown in. Steel Hellkite. Oh wow, we're already at the lands. No. There's gotta be, okay. Enchantment land. Artifact land. Creature. What order did they put these in? Enchantment, instant, creature. Yeah, Dragon's Lord Servant, yeah. Okay, and these are the... Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I just put them in an order that makes sense to me. So Stormshriek Feral, Dragonlord Servant, Rapacious Dragon, and Whirlwing Stormbrood. That does it for creatures. Instance, we have Rapid Hybrid. Oh, and I should actually get Will of the Temur, Zenith Festival, become the whatever. That. Just trying to get all the instants and sorceries and enchantments and what have you. And get them. Okay. In order here. Just because it would bother me if I didn't do this. Okay. So we got Rapid Hybridization, Draconic Lore, Reality Shift, Beast Within, Farseek, Kodama's Reach, Migration Path, Elemental Bond, Encroaching Dragonstorm, and Breaching Dragonstorm. Might as well just like put the cool copy in. Dragon Tempest, then we have Soul Ring. Wait a minute, where did the things considered, I feel like there is insufficient ramp for a deck that is this pricey. Not like monetarily, but like mana value wise. Sorry. Those two should have been in frame the whole time. And then for lands we have Cinderglade. Cinderglade, Exotic Orchard, Flooded Grove, Haven of the Spirit Dragon, Hinterland Harbor, Kessig Wolf Run, Carplusion Forest, Mossfire Valley, Mosswort Bridge, Rockfall Vale, Rootbound Crag, Sheltered Thicket, Shivan Reef, Sulphur Falls, Temple of Abandon, Temple of Mystery, Yavimaya Coast, Temple of the Dragon Queen, Command Tower, Evolving Wild, Frontier Bivouac, Bountiful Landscape, Path of Ancestry, 2 islands, 3 islands, 6 mountains, 5 forests, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. So actually, I might just switch Eshki out for another land. So I have 38 lands. Overall, kind of a disappointing deck, but at the same time, I think I got the pre-order price of like $68 for this deck, and like, obviously they're pre-constructed decks, they don't want to make them like broken powerful with all the best cards, but I mean, there's some pretty terrible dragons in here for a deck that's like about summoning dragons. You'd think they would have like, at least, I mean, they have Lathless Dragon Queen, which, yeah, that's great, and Hellkite Courser is probably the best dragon that you have in the deck aside from the commander itself. But like, the rest of the dragons are mid. I mean, Glorybringer's a joke. Why would you include that in this deck? Yeah, I don't know. For a deck that's all supposed to be about like summoning dragons, most of the dragons that you would summon are pretty lame. That's kind of disappointing. But obviously you're supposed to buy these, and they're not supposed to be the most powerful. They're supposed to be, not EDH or CEDH, whatever. They're not supposed to be like, the best out of the box. They're supposed to be flawed. They're supposed to not have necessarily the best cards. And obviously, if you want it to be better, go out and buy the cards yourself. That being said, like, I think one more, like, Gadrak is terrible. I've never had Gadrak be good. Lathless, I think, like, Lathless and Hellkite Courser are kind of like Lathless isn't even that good. Lathless is just like, it's just because she's the Dragon Queen and the art is beautiful and she's cool. Like, as far as like impactful dragons, you have Hellkite Courser, Scourge of the Throne is okay, Glorybringer's just a joke. I'm like really disappointed that that's even in this deck. Thunderbreak Regent is like fine. Thunderbreak Regent is just like a bootleg, whatchamacallit, well, not even, I was gonna say a bootleg, Terror of the Peaks, but Terror of the Peaks does so much more than this does. They just both deal damage if they get targeted. I don't know, like, I honestly think, like, what is that card? I honestly think, like, Red Dragon would be a better card to have than Glorybringer. least it does something on the ETB, like Glorybringer has flying and haste, but it's 5 mana 4/4. Like, if you get it off of your any trigger, maybe it's good, but like a 5 mana 4/4 flying haste, exerted to do 4 drain. I don't know. Maybe it's better than I'm giving it credit for. Glorybringer just, I don't know, it seems not good enough for, it seems good for constructed, but not good enough for EDH, if you know what I mean. Varix Bladewing, maybe, honestly, maybe Glorybringer's better than, what's his name? Gadrak. Like, I've never had Gadrak be impactful. And anyway, Dragon Master Outcast is just like cheap, just like a cheap threat. Like, if Ireni is the commander I go with, Dragon Master Outcast probably gets taken out. I don't need a Dragon Master Outcast. I don't need a non-dragon in my dragon summoning deck. So he probably goes. Nogi is probably fine because he can become a dragon and he helps you ramp into dragons. Rapacious Dragon is pretty bad. Yeah, like Rapacious Dragon is pretty bad. I don't know. I guess Steel Hellkite is okay, right? I guess plus this creature goes. I mean, not even. I think like one more really. I think like something like, I mean, not Ancient Copper Dragon is like $60, so they can't just put that in there, but like something like an Ancient Copper Dragon, something like Terror of the Peaks, some other, like, what was that new dragon from, oh my god, that I just pulled from Bloomborough, the one that's a 3/5 that doubles damage. Like, just one other significant dragon would have been nice to have, because it just feels like there aren't many, I don't know, when you think of dragons, I mean, you think of Lathliss, and I don't know, I just think there are more iconic dragons that could have been, or at least, I think one more iconic dragon that could have been included in this deck list, at least to make it more impactful, more identifiable, but maybe I'm just being nitpicky. I'm also just like kind of looking at it, and it's like, I don't like see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think you need more ramp than this. And like what, Rapacious Dragon, but Rapacious Dragon is like Rapacious Dragon is 5 mana. If Rapacious Dragon was 4 mana, I would say that it's good, but Rapacious Dragon is 5 mana. So like by the time you're at 5 mana, you want to actually start to cast your payoff spells. Like if you're at 5 mana, hopefully you have something. You're not still ramping at that point, right? Like, that's why Migration Path I think is playable, because it's 4 mana. If Migration Path was 5 mana, like I don't know. I feel like from 4 to 5 is where you need to stop ramping after 4 and at 5 start casting your big spells, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. Is 9 ramp spells enough? I don't know. I don't think it is. I don't think 9 ramp spells is enough. Maybe cut some of the embarrassing dragons for more ramp. And then how much interaction do we have? it's 4 mana, so like, I'll accept it. Interaction, 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 enchantment, 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 enchantment. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have 9 ramp spells, 7 interactive spells, 2 of which are wraths, and then we have like our kind of like, I don't know what you would call this, but this is like the hand refillers and whatchamacallit. Creatures you control have haste, that's actually kind of huge. And this is, it helps you draw more cards. Reflections of Lityara's definitely win more. Dragon Tempest gives haste. Breaching Dragonstorm. I don't really know how I feel about this. I think I would probably just want that Rooftop Storm, but for dragons card, than like Breaching Dragonstorm or Encroaching Dragonstorm. Oh, Encroaching Dragonstorm is kind of ramp, and it's 4 mana. Okay, so maybe there is enough ramp in this deck, now that I'm looking at it. Elemental Bond is an interesting include, where in the rest of the deck it looks like power 4 matters. All of a sudden they have a card that's there, because isn't there one that, what is it, Elemental Bond and like something Guardian something, I forget. Isn't there like another enchantment that but it's power 4 matters? You think they would include that? I wonder why that's an interesting choice to include that over, like, there's another enchantment that's like exact same thing, but 4 mana and power 4 matters. I think, or maybe it's the same mana amount, I don't know. But yeah, I would say that like the deck overall looks fine. I don't mean to sound, like a Debbie Downer. I think it's cool. I think, it's just big dragon go burr type dot deck. But I don't know. I think my big thing is just, I think one other iconic dragon in the dragon summoning deck isn't too much to ask. And I'm just kind of disappointed that there wasn't like another iconic dragon in the dragon summoning deck. But it's not a big deal because, it's a pre-constructed deck. I think, you're supposed to, there's supposed to be room for improvement, right? Like, there are some players who just keep their pre-constructed decks as is and never change them, and then there's some who like buy them and slightly upgrade them or totally upgrade them or whatever. And in my case, I think I'm going to be taking Eshki out. I'll make her own deck because I just love her card. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on her. If it's power 4 or greater, draw a card. If it's 6 or greater, she deals damage equal to her power to each opponent. So it's like burn, card draw, and being rewarded for playing big creatures. That's like all the things I love about Commander in a card. So when I saw her, I was like, I have to have her. So I'll be making a deck for her. And then Ureni, I'd like to surround him with some more powerful dragons. I think this deck could be really, I'm not going to do it yet because again, I still have to play the pre-constructed version of this deck with my friend with no changes, so like I'm keeping it as is for now. But I'd really, really like to, I think what I'll do is Eshki will get her own deck, and Ureni, I think Ureni, I would like to kind of almost treat this like a Winota for dragons. And I really, enters tapped and attacking. That would probably be too powerful. But I'd like to kind of treat him like a Winota for dragons, where you just cast him and attack and just get more and more dragons out of your library. I loved Winota as a card. Hate me as much as you want. I thought Winota was really fun, and I know that I know everybody hates Winota, but I liked the deck building. I liked deck building for Winota. I liked, filling your deck full of cards that were, obviously fulfilled the restrictions required by Winota. Either being a human or, human, or it was like human or non-human creature. So it was like whenever non-human creatures attacked, you looked for a human in your deck. So you wanted a bunch of low mana cost non-human creatures, and then a bunch of high mana value human creatures that you could get off of the triggers. I just liked Winota. Sue me, I don't need to justify it. I liked Winota, and I kind of want to treat him like a Winota for dragons. Obviously, I think he isn't as powerful. He isn't the Winota of dragons. But I can kind of deck build and I can kind of figure out a way to. But I think kind of the big thing is you're putting dragons onto the battlefield with Ureni, which means, as wonderful as it is to get a Lathless Dragon Queen for free by just, and having Ureni enter or attack, you really want to probably be getting creatures that have ETB effects. Or I guess maybe you don't necessarily have to be getting ETBs, because his ETB just gets you another creature. And maybe I'm thinking about this too much from a constructed standpoint, because it's 1v1 as opposed to a multiplayer game. And I'm also got to think about it from a commander perspective, where most of the commander games that I play, nobody really runs interaction. Everybody is just kind of playing solitaire. So if you can get another dragon for free, even if it doesn't have an ETB or generate immediate value, that's okay. That's okay. But I still kind of want to treat him like the Winota of dragons. So I think including some better dragons in here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So I definitely am going to be I don't know, Kaiga, it just feels like they were we need a blue dragon. I don't know, dragons with dice triggers don't feel that great, but, maybe. But yeah, the deck looks cool. I think with a little tweaking it can be way, way better. But I definitely have a lot of, messing around to do. And then, yeah, these are treasure, dragon, copy, dragon egg, frog, lizard, dragon egg, frog, lizard, treasure, dragon, okay. The deck is cool. I do like it. Ureni seems really cool. Eshki obviously is super cool. And I will definitely be playing these cards, or I definitely will be playing this deck, and I definitely will enjoy it. I think the most fun I'm going to have with this is going to be is going to be building Eshki, like her deck, period. And then also like refining the deck with Ureni. So once I take Eshki out and either put in a land or something else, it's going to be figuring out which dragons really are bad, which dragons really I think can be taken out, and then which dragons I can put in to really kind of make the deck hum and feel powerful. I mean, obviously that's all aside from like the most fun is going to be playing the deck, obviously. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of give this a go. I'm excited to play against my friend. I think he got the Abzan armor one, the one with a bunch of like defend creatures and stuff like that. Looked really interesting. But I'm excited to play this, and I'm excited to see kind of what his deck looks like, because it looked interesting as well. But yeah, I know I probably was a little harsh because I didn't see another iconic dragon. But that was just kind of my only note. Everything else I think looked pretty interesting. I guess my other only note was I wish that they included the Rooftop Storm version dragon enchantment in this deck as opposed to the dragon enchantments they did. Although one of them I saw looked like a ramp enchantment, which looked really interesting. But yeah, neither here nor there. The deck looks cool. The art for Ureni and for Eshki is beautiful. And I'm very excited to kind of start messing around with this. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you are having fun with Tarkir Dragonstorm. I'm excited to kind of start digging my claws into Commander a little bit again. I only have the one friend who really plays, so it'll be fun to play with him. I don't imagine I'll be going back to my LGS to like play in pods, but yeah, I'm having fun. And this, I think this was a really cool pickup. Yeah, I don't know. I like building Commander decks more than I even like playing, but I think that tends to be a problem with the format. People like building decks more than they like playing. Almost everybody I've talked to likes building Commander decks more than they like playing them. Everybody has like a million Commander decks, and it feels like they never even play most of them. But I like this a lot, and I'm excited to play it. So yeah, I will probably be making videos with this deck in the future, probably with the version of Eshki that I end up making, and then also with the upgrades that I make for Ureni. And I, if I've been saying that wrong, I apologize, but I believe it's Ureni. The alternative is it was Ureni, and that Ureni would be a horrible pronunciation for a dragon or for anything, really. Unless you, I don't know, like you're a person who had their eye peed on, then that's probably the perfect nickname. But for an ethereal-looking dragon, I think Ureni is much better. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of see what I can get out of this. So yeah, I'm gonna just probably keep it in this box for now. But whenever my friend gets his shit together and decides he wants to play, I will get these sleeved up, play with him, see how it goes, see what I'd like to change, see what I would like to change. And then again, yeah, making Eshki her own deck. I'll make a video for that once I think it's done. I don't think I'll do like a work in progress video. Once I finish her deck, I'll probably make a video on that. And then once I finish the upgrades and stuff with Ureni, which, again, like, I really think the only things I'm going to be changing are maybe a few of those enchantments. Definitely some of the weaker dragons and swapping in more iconic, cooler dragons. And then maybe, like, looking at overall card counts to shift things around a little bit so that as far as deck building goes, like when you're looking at like top 8 cards of your library, whatever, like stuff like that, I can try to maximize, min-max, Ureni's ability. But overall, I think card count looked pretty good. There's not much I would probably change. Maybe cut a few of the weaker, like Storm's Wrath could probably get cut. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's about it. There wasn't a lot of like card selection and stuff like that. Like a faithless looting, or like, something along those lines. Probably not a bad include. So like stuff like that. If I can find some space for card selection and stuff like that, there is pretty decent card draw though. So maybe